I warned them. I told them the ground wasn't stable, that the rock beneath their shiny new blueprints was fractured like old bone. But Shelby and her HOA smiled, poured their champagne, and called it progress. And then, one morning, the earth opened up and swallowed their million-dollar dreams whole. The quarry had been in my family since the 1950s. My father worked it by hand, granite limestone, dynamite sweat. I grew up knowing that land better than I knew most people. When I retired from the Army Corps of Engineers, I came back to watch over it. I fenced it, posted warning signs, and left it be. The quarry wasn't pretty, but it was honest, scarred, unpredictable, and alive. Then the cupcakes arrived. That's how HOA wars always start: sweet smiles and poisoned sugar. Shelby Marks, the new HOA president, showed up on my porch with a tray of lemon bars and a glossy proposal called The Cliffside Villas, a Vision for Tomorrow. She had that perfect suburban confidence, salmon-colored blazer hair sprayed into submission voice, smooth enough to sell sin. She laid the papers on my porch table and said, "It's an opportunity, Mr. Callahan. 12 luxury homes right along your ridge. Think of the value you're missing out on." I looked at the renderings, glass balconies hanging over faulted stone, infinity pools over hollow caverns, and said, "That land was a quarry. You build on it, it'll fight back." Shelby blinked, then laughed like I just told her a dad joke. I could almost hear the gears turning in her head, old man stubborn obstacle. Within weeks, I started getting letters offers dressed up in legal smiles. When I ignored them, the HOA voted to redefine the boundaries of Maple Ridge. Suddenly, my quarry was labeled community property under maintenance review. Bureaucratic theft wrapped in ribbon. I showed up to their meeting with maps, fault surveys, and photos from my Army Corps days. They let me talk for 3 minutes to defend 50 years of legacy. When I finished, Shelby thanked me for my passion and moved on to agenda item 2. In the parking lot, she smiled like she was consoling a child. "We just want progress," she said. I told her, progress doesn't mean ignoring the ground you're standing on. A week later, a new sign appeared. Future site of Cliffside Villas, Maple Ridge HOA. They hadn't bought the land. They'd just decided it was theirs. That night, I walked the rim of the quarry with a flashlight. The stone breathed under my boots, cracked hollow, unpredictable. My father used to say, "You don't build on land you don't understand," and I understood it too well. But Shelby didn't care about geology. She cared about optics. Soon, brochures filled every mailbox, smiling families on glass decks, words like panoramic views and sustainable luxury. They even held an event at the trailhead, handing out eucalyptus towels and cold-pressed juice while standing on fractured limestone. Shelby gave a speech voice echoing over the canyon. "This project will raise our property values and our community spirit." People clapped. Cameras flashed. I watched from the tree line, invisible, furious. When the HOA hosted another meeting, I went again, clean shirt binder in hand. Trevor, their vice president with a man bun and fake confidence, waved a laser pointer at a projection of their blueprint. "Our engineers have confirmed the rock face is stable," he said. Stable. I stepped forward. "That rock face is riddled with blast cavities. You're sitting on hollow air." Shelby cut in fast. "Thank you, Mr. Callahan, but this isn't the place for fear-mongering." I wanted to scream. They didn't want facts, they wanted fantasies. That night, I sat in my shed staring at the quarry. Maybe I was crazy. Maybe time had made me paranoid. The HOA made sure people thought so. The next week, I got a violation notice for unauthorized signage. My no trespassing signs apparently didn't fit their community aesthetic. Then someone painted "Get Over It, Quarryman" across my mailbox. That one hurt. I started to think about giving up selling, walking away, letting them dig their own grave. But then I remembered the boy from 1997. He'd wandered too close to the southern edge. The ground crumbled, swallowed him halfway. He survived, but I never forgot that sound, the roar of collapsing stone. That memory snapped me out of it. If they wouldn't listen, I'd make them. I built a website, quarrytruth.net. I posted the blast maps, fault diagrams, ground resonance recordings, everything I had. No insults, no drama, just data. A week later, a reporter named Ava knocked on my door. young, sharp eyes like a hawk. "You really think it's that dangerous?" she asked. I don't think I said I know. Her article hit the local paper. "Luxury on a fault line retired engineer raises alarm over HOA project." The HOA panicked. They called me a local agitator spreading misinformation. Shelby showed up at my door, flanked by 2 board members. Her smile could have cut glass. "You're putting the HOA in a difficult position," she said. "No," I told her. "You're putting this whole town on unstable ground." She sighed. "If you keep spreading falsehoods, we'll sue." "Then sue me," I said. Her face cracked just a little. For the first time, I saw fear behind the foundation. That's when the real attack started. Fines for brush overgrowth. Rumors on the community Facebook page that I had PTSD from combat. Lies stacked like bricks. But I didn't fold. I uploaded more proof. And then the ground started to move. At first, it was subtle hairline cracks in the model home's foundation. HOA called it normal settling. Then, Natalie and Jordan, my neighbors, showed up, pale as ghosts. "Our patio's splitting," Jordan said. I went to see it myself. The stone was cracked right through the center, clean deep, impossible to ignore. "This isn't settling," I told him. "It's the earth warning you." He didn't argue. Then came the tremors. The news called them microquakes. I called them inevitability. Shelby, of course, brushed it off in her newsletter. Minor vibration events. Construction remains ahead of schedule. I started hearing from more neighbors' walls, cracking doors, jamming lights, flickering. I pinned every report on my shed wall like a detective map. The pattern matched my father's old fault surveys perfectly. Then the university report leaked. Development built on fractured, unstable substructure. High risk of collapse. Shelby exploded. She accused me of conspiring with the university to sabotage her project. I didn't respond. The ground would speak louder than I ever could, and it did. Sunday morning. Quiet, too quiet. I was drinking coffee on the porch when I felt it a low, rolling shift like the world exhaling under my feet. My mug slid off the railing and shattered. Windows rattled. The earth groaned. Then came the sound I'll never forget, a deep, cracking roar like thunder trapped underground. I ran toward the quarry. The model home, her precious showpiece, was gone. Half the bluff had sheared off, taking the foundation with it. Rebar stuck out like broken veins. A cantilever deck dangled in mid-air, glass railings shattered to dust. People were screaming, filming, crying. Shelby stood frozen at the edge, covered in gray dust, staring into the void where her dream used to be. Her blazer was torn, her perfect hair limp, her face blank. It wasn't triumph I felt, it was horror. The kind that comes when you realize you were right too late. The sheriff's cruisers arrived. Then the news vans. Ava showed up again, camera rolling. The county shut down the site within hours. The university confirmed what I'd been saying all along. This wasn't an act of God, it was an act of arrogance. Within days, the HOA board imploded. Shelby resigned for personal reasons. The investors filed lawsuits. Residents demanded the board be dissolved. The project was declared unsafe, the land permanently zoned non-developable. I stood at the rim one last time, where my father and I used to work the drills. The morning air was quiet again finally. Dust settled into the cracks like it belonged there. They called it a tragedy. I called it gravity doing its job. Because the truth is simple. You can lie to people, to papers, to yourself, but not to the ground beneath your feet. It always remembers, and it always answers.